This video and video series to be exists to explain the family tree of the Noldorin royalty, but I want to do it in a way that brings these characters to life, instead of being mere names on a page. To do this, I need to introduce some key plot points and background information, so this will be a spoiler for the Silmarillion. But it might also help you read the Silmarillion, because hopefully you will be able to keep track of who's who by way of this video series. The Noldor themselves are a group of elves with dark hair that came to live in Valinor, the continent of the Ainur, the collective term for the angelic spirits of Middle-earth. This includes lesser spirits like Gandalf and major ones like Morgoth, a Maiar and a Valar respectively. In the course of the Silmarillion, these elves will leave Valinor and return to Middle-earth, making a major impact on history, and most of the narrative concerns them directly or indirectly. Their first High King is Finwe, of whom all you really need to know is that he married twice after his wife's death, and that he played favourites with his eldest son. This video is concerned with his 5 children. The eldest child of Finwe he had by his first wife Miriel of the Noldor, and he was named Feanor, the spirit of fire, greatest of all the elves who ever lived, being skilled in craftsmanship and law. The Silmarils being the greatest jewels in all Middle-earth, and perhaps the most powerful magical items. Skilled also was he in his speech, yet as a person he was not so admirable. His love and devotion to his father might be counted among his redeeming qualities, but he does much to tip the scales towards being an overall bad person. This speech of his turned to the manipulation of others, conjuring in their minds the things he thought they wanted, to serve his own selfish goals. When Finwe is murdered by Morgoth, the first Dark Lord, and Feanor's Silmarils are stolen from his vaults, he uses his words to inflame the hearts of the Noldor to rebellion against the Valar. To leave for Middle-earth in pursuit of his father's and their king's killer and his stolen Silmarils. With his skill and knowledge he grew an unmatched ego, thinking himself capable of withstanding the power of even one of the Valar. He was also a deeply mistrusting person, holding his half-brothers in contempt, and thinking that they might seek to usurp his position as heir to the throne, going as far as to leave Fingolfin and his host stranded in Valinor, and burning the ships that they were going to use to make the crossing over the sea, ships that his determination and selfishness had earlier led him to take from the Teleri elves by force. His desire for vengeance was so great that even as he lay dying, and came to understand that the elves unaided could not overthrow Morgoth, he still urged his sons to avenge his death. The 4 remaining children are by Findis of the Vanir, the first of which was Findis, of whom we know nothing except that she did not join the rebellion and remained in Valinor. She might also be the mother of Glorfindel, but we don't know that for sure. The third child of Finwe was Fingolfin, and he joined the rebellion, even though he spoke out against it. Fingolfin was the strongest and most valiant of the Noldor, yet he showed deference to Feanor, and tried to overcome the rift between them, though that was ultimately fruitless, and he joined the rebellion out of a sense of duty to his people, not wanting to abandon them to the madness of his older brother. This sense of duty drives him onwards as he leads his people through the grinding ice of the north, where there is a land bridge between Valinor and Middle-earth. After the crossing they came into Middle-earth to learn that Feanor had died, and his eldest son Maedhros was captured. Seeing the strength of Morgoth's fortress of Angband, Fingolfin makes the pragmatic decision to bide his time, and to set up a fortress of his own where he might wait until he could find a way to defeat the Dark Lord. He keeps his wits about him, and he makes sure to be ready for any combat. He makes proactive decisions to try and heal the hurt between the house of Feanor and his own. And for 400 years he leads the siege of Angband, where the 3 houses of the Noldor hold the forces of Morgoth at bay from their northern realms, until that siege is broken in the Battle of Sudden Flame. It is only in that great defeat, when it seems to him that all hope is lost, that he finally gives in to anger and rage, and he rides forth to Angband's gates alone, to challenge Morgoth in single combat, a challenge that is accepted and results in his death, but not before he had wounded Morgoth permanently. The 4th child of Finwe was Irime, who again we know nothing about, except that she joined the rebellion. And lastly, the fifth child of Finwe was Finarfin, and he was the wisest and fairest of the brothers, yet alone among the descendants of Finwe he was not strong-willed. Even though he does not want the Noldor to rebel, he doesn't speak openly against it, but rather counsels his brothers to discuss it a while longer before making such a decision, and after the slaughter of the Teleri, his wife's people, he refuses to go on and remains in Valinor. I hope this video achieved its aim of explaining how the second generation of the Noldorin royalty relate to one another and what kind of people they were. The next video will cover the sons of Feanor in the same way. And now, goodbye guys, until next time.